Welcome back, you filthy exiles. So I sort of run out of stuff to do for the league because we're 2 months in now, and to be honest, I'll probably be switching to some Lost Ark for a little bit. So expect some videos and that. Tiny Tina's good, but I'll be working away, so Lost Ark is a little bit easier. But in the meantime, I thought I'd do a bit of a recap of builds that I did from last league. In particular, one that got nerfed, and just test to see if it's still worth its chop. Funnily enough, it is, and that's the Detonate Dead Spellslinger. So Detonate Dead, and I think I also had, so there was also Volatile Dead, Detonate Dead, Volatile Dead Spellslinger. So anyway, I ran this in a T16 map, and I was like, damn, this is still pretty good. Despite its nerfs now that came in this league. So if we have a look at Spellslinger. It now does reduce damage with skills. Still a super powerful build. Quite frankly, I don't think the nerfs really did anything significant to the build itself. So we'll just pull out a T16 map here. Maybe we'll do a summit, and we'll just run it through, and then go from there. So obviously this is my standard cache, which is an absolute nightmare to try and sort out, and I don't even want to look at it. It's just chaos. But yeah, so we'll run it through a test run, and I'll show you just the mapping at the moment, and it ripping through a boss, and then we'll just talk through the build, and I'll put an updated POB in the description. But yeah, anyway, it's still a good build, and let's check it out. Run that up. Okay, so this is just a standard T16 summit map. I just wanted to show for a case point example that, you know, even when they implement nerfs, it doesn't really break different builds. So as you can see, still tears through maps like they're nothing. Actually, I got a hankering to want to play this and level it up in standard just for the lols. This brings back so many memories. This was such a strong build. Yeah, like, you tell me, does that look like it's still not strong, or is that... It still looks pretty damn strong to me. Like, I was actually hesitant to playing this build this league because of the nerfs, and now I realise I was an idiot. I should have just played Spellslinger. Alright. So that's a map run. That's how quick it is with T16. So let's just rip this build apart and do a really quick run through of what sort of makes us tick. Okay, so there is a build guide that I have for this, and I'll put the link up somewhere in the video. But anyway, basically how this build works is we're running a really basic... This is only a +1 wand. This isn't a +2 wand to spells. There could actually be a much better wand to get a much better output on this, but at the time I just didn't care. Outside of that, literally Crown of the Inward Eye, which is still relatively easy to get, and mana reservation efficiency for Spellslinger. It's running a low life setup with a Shavs, and I managed to get a really good Shavs last league, and also a Prism Guardian, which is a no-brainer, is pretty much how low life works. Boots literally was just focused on aspect of the spider, cast speed, and absolutely maxing out as much ES as we could. Same with belt, and we had cooldown reduction on that as well. And gloves, all resistances or resistances, attributes, and ES. And then we're just running a Circle of Anguish with just increased fire damage and Herald of Ash buff effect. Another ring with flammability and all resist and energy shield. And then obviously a Presence of Chayula with charisma. And then our flasks, you know, nothing crazy in here. If we had a consecrated, was it consecrated path? Bottle Faith, sorry. This would be much better. Pretty much that's all there is gearing-wise. Like, this build wasn't complicated to build initially, but there'll be further details in my build guide, but very easy to sort of spec up. But anyway, we'll quickly run through the gems, and I'll give you a brief on that. Right, so gem setups: Helm, Flame Dash, Mortal Call, custom damage taken. I'd raise Spectre because you want to have two skin Flayers from Delve. But And these drop in the Primal area, though with the change to the way that Detonate Dead works now, I don't think you need these anymore. But anyway, I had them anyway, and I don't think they cast... No, they still do. But anyway, so then in Shield, we had Anomalous Discipline back when we spected Zealotry, and we didn't even have a 21 Zealotry. We could go better. Anger as well, we got up to 23 Anger, but we again could have had a 21 Anger, and that would have made this build better. In the wand, Bone Offering, Tempest Shield, and Wave of Conviction, and then that has triggered and socketed spell, when another spell is used. And then outside of that, literally we had like a double Spellslinger set up here. So pretty much the way that Spellslinger works is you have it cast to like an attack skill. In this case, Frenzy is always one of the best skills to use for this because it's low cost and everything. You keep it level 1. And then basically you have your 2 Spellslinger set up here. So in this case, Spellslinger was attached to Desecrate and Awaken Spell Cascade. And then also Spellslinger on Detonate Dead and Volatile Dead, and then Inspiration, Awaken Spell Cascade, and Awaken Fire Pen, which weren't even maxed out, to be honest with you. And then we just had another Barrage support on Frenzy and Faster Attacks, because it's an attack skill, and then Portal. Really, really easy sort of spec out as far as skills. Yeah, not a lot there. But again, this is in the full build guide. And yeah, let's just have a quick look at the pathing tree, and I'll show you there's no real changes to the pathing tree. For argument's sake, I've kept this, because in standard what happens is it wants to reset your tree. I've not touched a single point on this tree from last league, which is indicated by this. So basically, it's the exact same tree, like, and that's in the description, in the guide that I put up from last league. No changes there. Pretty much, yeah, same energy from within setup. Because there were no movements in the actual tree itself, there was no need to actually make any changes. So I won't go into any great detail because I've already done a video on this, and it's just slapping the same dead horse. But anyway, no real changes. And this we got to like 7.4k ES, and it was really, really powerful. And as far as ascendancies, because it's a Volatile Dead, Detonate Dead, Commander of Darkness, we go Plague Bringer and Corpse Pact. This is for when you cast skills. And then Mistress of Sacrifice, so offering skills affect you as the player. And then we also always had, I think, self-cast offering skills. I'm pretty sure. No, they were auto-cast. There you go. That's with a different build, which I'm going to do another video for tonight. Anyway, moral of the story, build's still viable. Forget the nerfs. Nerfs are bullshit. It's still playable, and I might even play it next league because, quite frankly, if I'd played this league, would have been a little bit easier than playing RF, but RF was still really good. This is more the build that you're going to rip through Maven in 2 seconds with. Still very playable, though. Surprisingly, I don't know why I didn't test it earlier in the league. Honestly, I'm an idiot sometimes. But yeah, anyway, if you want to play Detonate Dead and Volatile Dead, then by all means go crazy. Still viable, still playable, and yeah, have fun. Anyway, there'll be a POB in the description. The original build guide from 3.1, what are we at, 3.17? 3.16 will be in the description, and completely playable for this league, and most likely will be playable for next league because no one would have played it this league. So anyway, until next time, have a good one, and bye.